Turn to women's hoops now. Game leaders presented by Gatorade. It's Ohio State's excellent start to the season. They are 5-0 on the year. They are putting the ball in the basket, more than 93 points a game. Great shooting from deep as well. It is a nice start to the season for Kevin McGuff, the reigning Big Ten Coach of the Year, who's good enough to join us now from Columbus. And Kevin, give me an idea of something you've learned about your team at this point early on in the season that might have surprised you a little bit.
Well, I really like the talent level of our team. It's been an interesting start to the season, though, because we've had the benefit these last couple of years of being an older, more mature team with a lot of experience. We had J.C. Sheldon for 5 years. We had Rebecca for 5 years. Celeste Taylor was in her 5th year in college, and Ricky Harris was here for 5 years. But now we've got 7 newcomers that we're trying to acclimate into the program. And so I really like our talent level, but we've been a little bit up and down. And I think if we'll just continue to get better throughout the year, we could have a great season.
Well, one of those youngsters, of course, Jelani Cambridge, who was shot out of a cannon with 31 points in 26 minutes in her debut, and 6 assists and 6 rebounds. What have you seen from her so far this year?
She's a really special player. She's a great kid. She's been extremely coachable, works extremely hard. And when people get a chance to see her play, you'll see one of the fastest players you've ever seen on the court where the ball actually comes with her when she's flying up and down the court.
Yeah, Taylor Theory told me at Media Days this year, the way she phrased it, you'll love this, she's up there with JC. Is that fair?
She's got speed and quickness like JC, and JC was really special and obviously a great player for us. And Jelani's got a long way to go to kind of catch where the impact that JC had in our program, but she's really special. She's extremely coachable, and our players love playing with her because not only can she generate shots for herself, but she makes everybody around her better.
Yeah. Well, that was, of course, something JC was so good at, and we might as well follow up because now she's on your staff, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue she was the face of your program since you've been here. That's how important she's been.
Yeah, and one of my concerns heading into this year was just her presence in our program and our leadership. She was such a great leader, and with all these newcomers, it's just great to have her around. She's just awesome with our players, and I think she's going to have a great impact this year.
Another one of the newcomers that you were referencing is Chance Gray, who already has 20 3-pointers made this year, which is wild. That's more than a Big Ten team has at this point in the season. But then it's not wild because you're like, oh, yeah, she had 9 in a game. But then you're like, wait, that's crazy, too. How do you describe her shooting from deep?
Yeah, she's a great player. She's from Ohio, and she kind of slipped away from us during her high school recruiting and went to Oregon. But we were really happy to bring her back. And if you looked at our season last year, if we lost games, one of the reasons why we lost some games last year is we didn't shoot the ball well from the perimeter. So we really wanted to shore that up, and we were very specific when we went into the portal to get a chance to try to help us shoot the ball better.
For a while, when you guys would win a game, you'd give the player of the game honor the Dub chain, but the chain is gone and now it's the Dub crown. What happened?
We just kind of had to reinvent ourselves, and my staff does a great job with that. My assistant Jalen came up with the Dub chain originally, and then she kind of had a new idea, and I think it's awesome. Our kids have kind of taken to it, but just kind of wanted to refresh it and give it a new look.
Well, where's the chain now?
That's a closely guarded secret, Mike, that I can't share with you at this particular moment in time.
Okay, I was just gonna say, if it needs a home, I've got room. If it's
no, we may break it out at a certain time this year. Who knows?
All right. You are 5-0 on the season, and we've mentioned multiple players, but still haven't mentioned Cody McMahon. Unfortunately, she got injured. She missed a couple games. Give us the latest on her health.
Yeah, she's day-to-day. I mean, she's close to being back on the floor with us, and just want to make sure that we take our time and put her in the best position possible when she does come back.
There's been so much emphasis on some super highly recruited incomers, whether they're freshmen this year or people who were highly recruited when they went out of high school that are now in your program. But let me ask you about someone who was not necessarily regarded like that. Elsa Lamilla has been very productive for you guys the first handful of games. What have you seen from her?
She's got a chance to be a star here. She's a great athlete at 6'5". She can really run and jump, and she's also got a great skill set to go along with it. And she had an injury her senior year of high school. She tore her ACL, so she's really only been back on the court for about 5 or 6 weeks, and she's just getting better each week, each day. And so I think that if she can continue to improve throughout the season, she will be very impactful for us.
You know, every time I talk with you about your players, I feel like you've got this control. Like, it feels like very rarely does something surprise you. You'll be like, oh, yeah, well, we saw that when she was a high school sophomore. Or, yeah, we were watching her film back in the day. When was the last time a player genuinely surprised you?
Well, you know, it happens. I mean, they surprise me all the time, but you know, we're very specific and intentional who we bring into the program when we usually feel like we have a good feel. But I think I could go all the way back to, let's say, Taylor Theory, because when we recruited Taylor, you know, we knew she was a great kid, but it was during that COVID time. So we probably didn't get a chance to see her as much as we normally see people. And when she got here, we very early on knew she was going to be a great player for us. And we were pleasantly surprised in some areas.
You know, last night I was calling the Illinois men's game, and I was sitting with Brad Underwood and Bruce Weber, and they were talking about the Big Ten. And Bruce was saying, you know, this is that fun time of year when you're rooting so hard for the Big Ten, because the way that everybody else does, if they succeed, it helps you when you have to play them in the season. How much do you find yourself watching and following along with what the rest of the Big Ten is doing in November?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, a rising tide lifts all boats. And I think in the Big Ten, we're off to a great start as a conference. UCLA just had a huge win versus a great South Carolina team. And we've had other significant wins throughout the conference. And, you know, I thought we had the best conference last year for sure. And there's no doubt about it this year.
I don't want to bring this down, but what are your Bengals doing, man?
Oh my gosh. It's like, it feels like every week is a must win and we're not getting the wins. And so we've got another must win against Pittsburgh this coming Sunday. So hopefully we can get it together, because if we can't win this one, we're about running out of time.
Yeah, luckily they're only a first place team, so I'm sure it should be easy for you.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
You're spending the holiday in Daytona Beach. You got room for one more?
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Sorry, bosses, I'm off to Florida. I think they're fine with it. Kevin McGuff, always great, man. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mike.